Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching VonAllen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
Wait for it. There it is. All right. One more thing. Here we go. So that threw me off a little, didn't it? So, all right. How are you guys doing, man? Let's go. All right. So this is a day that we did not think was going to happen. It's very odd, very strange. Didn't see it coming, right? But it is here. And like, if you guys missed the stream this morning, I was just, talking about it. I just wanted to get the, this speculation of different things of why and when and all this. And I want tonight to be about celebrating Tom Brady. So here's what we're going to do. Tonight, I'm going to take calls from you guys. Each person will get a chance to tell me their favorite Tom Brady moment, their best Tom Brady story, whatever it is. If you want to tell how you first started becoming a fan of Brady, or if he's the reason why you got into football, or, anything like that, anything that you want to share, personal, whatever, it's up to you. Okay. So that's what it's for, but I'm going to take everyone one at a time. So it's your moment, your time to talk about this and get this on record, because this is going to be here forever. And that'll be the only time we ever get to do this. So I don't want, a bunch of people talking over each other and stuff like that. So when I do let you call in, just try to do it in, within a reasonable time, like just a couple of minutes or so. If you can, that would be perfect. So everybody can call in and do that. With the video, what they do is sometimes if you go on for too long, and I didn't realize the time length was like 6 minutes. If I go over 6 minutes, I didn't realize that. What they do is they just monetize the video and later on, which is what they'll do. But if you're streaming longer than that, they think that you're actually trying to stream, like have a watch party or something, and you're not allowed to do that. So fair enough. No, no hard feelings towards the NFL. They let me use their content all the time. I constantly am able to use it, and they just they get the royalties for the ad revenue. They don't get anything from super chats or anything like that. So don't worry. If you send a super chat, it goes just to us, VonAllen Sports. But the ad stuff they get, and fair enough, okay? Because I'm using their stuff anyway, right? So it's all good, no problem. No reason to be mad at the NFL or anything like that. It was just a YouTube algorithm AI thing, okay? So it just triggers automatically. But once I switched it, it will come back. So we're good, all good. So it was at the end anyway. The only Super Bowl it didn't show was the Bucs Super Bowl, and that was it. So I think we got finished with the Rams by the time it got cut off. So, all right. See, we got some good. We lost a few people during that. They probably left to go look for a new stream, and they should be back if they were here. So, okay. So real quick, we had some early super chats, and I just want to post those real fast. Elf of Courage, as usual. Elf of Courage is the first one. He sends a $10 super chases. Super Bowl 36. We are all Patriots, and tonight the Patriots are world champions. Super Bowl 38. Fight to the finish. Super Bowl 39, from destiny to dynasty. Super Bowl 49, the Butler did it. Super Bowl 51, the drive for 5. Super Bowl 53, Super 6. And then Super Bowl 55, Stairway to 7. What a great super chat, Alpha Courage. That is freaking awesome. And it's unbelievable. If you guys were watching, in the intro, all of those Super Bowls, even the losses, those are all the times Brady was involved in a scoring drive, which was a touchdown or 2-point conversion. So it didn't count like pick sixes or field goals or anything like that. So, but it made you realize just how many times, how privileged we have been to watch this. You guys understand that this is never going to happen again. There's never going to be a single player that plays in 10 Super Bowls. That's just not. It doesn't matter about stats or anything like that, because winning is winning, because everybody else is on an equal playing field. So you say, for example, Mahomes, whatever, the rules make it easier for him to throw more touchdowns or whatever you want to say about it. And I'm, there's ebbs and flows. It comes up and down, and things change over time. But winning is winning, and everybody else, all the other quarterbacks in the league, are under those same rules. So that's why I never understood the argument that like Montana fans had against Tom, and they say, "Oh well, Joe, things were a little different," and I'm like, exactly. That's why I don't compare touchdowns and bulk yards and bulk completions and stuff. That's why I don't do that, because it doesn't matter. What matters to me is being the best of your time each year, being the best of your era, and that is what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. So winning is winning, and getting into 10 Super Bowls is absolutely stupid. It's ridiculous, and the reason I call it stupid is because if you were to say this to someone years ago, that this would happen, that there'd be a quarterback that plays in 10 Super Bowls, they would have called you stupid, okay? And that's just how it works. Thank you, Elf of Courage, so much. Awesome. And Elf of Courage sent another early one. This is way before the stream started. He sent a $5 super chat. He says, from lowly 7th round pick to the greatest ever. Thank you for everything, Tom. You'll always be a Patriot, Brady. Always. Go Pats. Let's go. By the way, this jersey right here, this jersey was sent to me by Tyree Vaughn. I think he's in the comments section. I hope he is. Tyree Vaughn, him and his amazing wife, got this jersey for me and sent it to me along with some Coca-Cola stuff. And Milena is crying again. Sweetie, you okay? I'll admit, it wasn't easy making that video and cutting that stuff up, but it sucks. But you know what? Tom knows when it's the end. I trust him. I trust him on that. And yeah, there's a reason for it. And there has to be a very good reason, because he had no barriers, no contract disputes, no team holding him hostage, no woman holding him hostage. Yeah. So okay. Again, Alpha Courage sent a $5 super chat. He made a mistake here on his iPhone. Because I don't know how people text on iPhones. I'm like, doot, 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 doot. Now typing, I'm freaking awesome. Okay, but on a cell phone, my nieces and nephews make fun of me when they see me texting like an old man. But anyway, he made an error there. But from a lowly 6th round pick to the greatest ever. Thank you for everything, Tom. You'll always be a Patriot, Brady. Always go Pats. And the reason I read that again is because I wanted it on record correctly, so he could cut that, and so I could read it right. So there you go, Alpha Courage. Again, thank you so much for sending that. That is awesome. Israel P sends a $12 super chat, of course, for number 12. He says, a lot of jealous haters and salty people, yes, are spreading BDS because they probably wish they were Tom, but he was standing in their way, of course. Sad to see that a lot of idiots won't appreciate greatness. Forever, the GOAT. Yeah, guys. He made a mistake. He sent it. Elf of Courage knows what round Brady was drafted in. Trust me. So. Okay. Let me see who's all here real quick, and we'll get this going. Of course, Elf of Courage is here. He's at the very start. Sierra Chubbs, what's up? How you doing? Jason Never Sleeps says, yes, Israel. Like someone said in the earlier chat today, it's Tomicron variant level of BDS. It is bad. It's very bad. I've never seen a player hated so much who has been such a cool dude and a nice guy. I mean, I understand why people don't like, players like Barry Bonds or LeBron James or some, Travis Kelce. Yeah, can't stand that guy. It makes sense, okay? But why people hate on Tom doesn't make sense to me. I mean, hating Tom Brady's like hating Wayne Gretzky or, Joe Montana. It's like, doesn't make sense. It's like, what are you doing? Or hating Larry Bird or hating Michael Jordan. It's like, why? Why would you hate them? Why? Tiger Woods. Why would you hate them? It doesn't make sense. You're just a douche, I mean, yeah, it's just so stupid. Luke R, what's up? Bloody pleb. Jalen, how you doing, man? Daniel Morales, what's up? DC 52. WGW Network. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Too bad it got cut off, but I tried my best. I'll upload it later, though. I'll upload the entire video, and they won't get me for uploading it. So, Tyler Belcher, John Pascal or Pascal. I hope one of those are right. Apologies if I got that wrong. So, welcome. He says, I realized I was 17 in high school when Brady started his career. Yeah. Yeah, I was in high school when he was at Michigan. So he got drafted 2 years after I graduated high school. Do the Patriots induct Brady into the Ring of Honor next season? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would do it, probably during Jets week. So it's that would be fitting. And obviously, yeah, the number will be retired and all that. No one's ever going to wear 12 again. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the number 12 shouldn't be worn by anybody ever again. So if you are already wearing number 12, like Aaron Rodgers, and but once your career's done, there's no new number 12s that can be issued. And I think that's how it should be, honestly. So, I mean, at the very least, for the Patriots. Now, there have been other number 12s. There's like Hall of Famers and stuff that are number 12, but that wouldn't affect them. It was already their number. So, but just no new people can wear that number. I think that'd be badass. So, and then that number, you wouldn't just be retiring it for Tom. You'd be retiring it for so many great number 12s. So. Nightly Sinister, what's up, Kevin? Tyree is here. Awesome. The Gourd King. Israel. Yep. Steve Weiser, what's up, man? Boa Omega is here. Anthony Preston. Milena, it's going to be okay. I can hear you sniffling over there. James Johnson, Consul James Johnson is here. Juan, what's up, man? Some random Patriots fan. Thomas Allen, what's up, Dad? Dave Wilhauer. Dave Wilhauer. Dave Wilhauer. That sounds like he should be like CEO of IBM or something. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is I just want to give you my thoughts for a few minutes. I'd just like to talk a little bit, and then we'll start taking some calls if you guys want to call and share your thoughts as well. But first, Tyler Belcher sends a $12 super chat. Of course. He says, short and sweet, whether you liked him or hated him, TB12 will be the GOAT of all GOATs now. Was and always will be. Thank you, Tom Brady. Hell yeah. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate it, man. Dave Wilhauer sends a $5 super chat. He says, the Super Bowl MVP trophy should be renamed the Tom Brady trophy. Milena, what do you think about that? I think that's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. So, why not? Right? So, I remember people were suggesting that the Lombardi trophy be renamed the Belichick trophy, or, even possibly the Brady trophy. I don't like that. I don't agree with that. It's the Lombardi trophy. You should never change that. But the MVP trophy doesn't have a name, or it doesn't have a nickname like that. It's perfect, right? It's perfect to be named that. The Tom Brady trophy, or as the Gord King just said, the Tom Barty trophy, which I think that actually is pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So no one's going to win that thing 5 times. Tom, of course, has won it 5 times. Should have won it several more times. But, bad things happened in certain Super Bowls, and it sucks. But that's part of sports, and crap like that is what makes the wins after the losses so much more impressive, because Super Bowl losses usually destroy people. It destroys players. It destroys franchises. And we've seen that so many times. Even winning can destroy a franchise because they get set in their ways. So, John Thomas Chavez sends a $2 super chat. He says, say it like Kellerman. Tom's the GOAT. Clearly. Or he also says Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. I haven't actually heard from Kellerman in a while. I know he went to that new show, but I've never actually checked it out or anything. So. And also, if you're talking to me in the chat, and it just makes it easier for me to see it. If you're talking to me and not talking to someone in the chat, put at VonAllen Sports. You can see that Jalen did that. And when you do that, it goes orange. So, Marcus, 415, level 2 Centurion. Thank you so much, Marcus. Hell yeah. Awesome. Let me get that real quick. You are the man. Boom, boom, boom. By the way, have you guys noticed that we're about to hit 13,000 subscribers? Have you seen that? Have you noticed that? We're almost at 12.9. Do you guys remember when I was stuck at 11.9 for a full year? Forever and ever. We've gained nearly 1,000 this month. Okay. Here we go. If you would like to join and become a member, there it is. And I'm going to pin this to the very top. Okay. And also, yes, when I'm ready to take calls, there will be a link for you. It's not a phone number. It's an actual web link. So you'll need a computer or a smartphone. And I don't know anybody who doesn't have one of those. I doubt anyone is on a rotary in the chat, unless you've mixed the two technologies somehow together. So that'd be pretty interesting. So, did you tell me about your super chat before it actually popped up?
Yeah, because
That's cheating. That's cheating. You can't do that because you're here in person.
my computer died. I have to reset it.
WGW Network. We have 2 members tonight. 2 new members. Level 2 Centurion. Thank you, man. Thank you, you guys. You are freaking awesome. Of course, we always post the new members. We love the new members. And guys, just in time, we're going to be having a members-only Senate very, very soon, most likely this weekend. So that's good timing. It's perfect timing, actually. Nefertiti, Milena. Oh, she managed to stop crying for a few minutes. Guys, she's been crying all day. In fact, she was crying so much this morning that she had a headache and she went to bed. I'm not even kidding. So, not even joking. All right. Nefertiti M sends a $12 super chat. Says, let this be our little secret, guys. I got so emotional, but TB12 forever. Goat Torque. Thank you for turning me onto football, TB12, and teaching me Æron VonAllen. Let's fucking go. Awesome. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Are you crying again? She's crying again. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much, man. I love this channel. And this channel got here because of Tom Brady. This is all of us, okay? I've made friends with so many of you. Some of you I met in person. Some of you I haven't. I've been just on FaceTime. And some of us we just talk through here. But I feel like I know most of you pretty well. And I hope to get to know a lot of the newer people who've become members and subscribers. But this whole thing started because of Tom Brady. And this channel was started because of Tom Brady. And what happened was I was sick and tired of the Brady derangement syndrome. I was getting tired of it. And I wrote a script for why Brady is the greatest, but not only the greatest, but I took every single accusation or stupid comment by haters and I would answer them. And I did them one by one. And I wrote this script was going to end up being like a 4 or 5 hour long documentary. Milena looked at it and she goes, you should probably split that up into 2 episodes and make it like a TV series. And I said, well, how would I do that? I don't, She's like, well, we could start a YouTube channel. And I was like, well, let's do that. And then I started working on it and cutting it up. And then I came to bed one morning and I told her, this VonAllen Sports thing, this idea, this Brady stuff. She's like, yeah. I said, this thing is a hit. This thing's going to work. I felt it. Okay. And I know that sometimes when people do projects and things like that, they're optimistic and they're excited about it. But this was different. There was absolutely no doubt that I had something special here. And I knew I did. I knew it. because I knew there were so many people out there that felt the way I did. Tom was an inspiration to them, and he was someone that you could look up to. If you were a kid, you could look up to him. If you're an adult, you could see him as a representation of greatness, and you wanted to do that yourself. In fact, it got to the point where when me and Milena would work on something or do something, we say, we're going to Tom Brady this thing. Okay? So that means you're going to be disciplined. You're going to work hard. You're not going to take no for an answer. And you're not going to doubt yourself. Okay? So I don't care how old you are or what you do for a living, Tom Brady has had that effect on people. Okay? And I met you guys, and this all kind of happened. It's just, it's crazy. So Tyler Belcher, let's see, since another $12 super chat. He says, never forget the 09 snow game against the Titans, 59-0. One of Brady's all-time great games. Of course, many. Also, everyone, subscribe. GOAT. Thank you so much, Tyler. Mr. A. I remember Mr. A, he when the channel was new, he joined the Patreon that I had at the time. Now, of course, I don't have Patreon anymore because of the memberships here. I just decided there was no point to do both. But he was one of my first Patreon members, and $50 a month. But he didn't reveal himself, so we didn't know who this guy was, and we were like, wow, this guy's paying $50 a month, but he's never revealed himself or anything. He's never spoken, or it was strange. And there was no photo of him like there is a photo now, but there was no photo of him then. It just said Mr. Automotive. I was like, who is this guy? And I even did a segment inside of a video with the Unsolved Mysteries music, thanking him for his contributions. But I was like, I don't know who you are, but maybe one day we'll meet. And we hung out. We went to a Patriots game together, and now he's become a very good friend. And of course, he's in Philadelphia. I'm in West Hollywood, California, but we communicate every day through text and messaging and things like that. And from time to time, we get on the phone and FaceTime. But I've made so many new friends because of this. The Red Coat, you guys know Jason Patrick Saunders was just here visiting. And of course, so many of you guys, it's crazy. So Mr. A sends a $5 super chat, and he says, someone please call Tom Brady. Hello, Tom. It's me, Mr. Automotive. One more year, please. Just one more. Just one more. I feel you, Mr. A. Just a little more. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's freaking awesome. By the way, this weekend's show, I will bring back the Super Chat standings. The last show for the Super Chat contest will be the season finale show the week after the Super Bowl. So there's always a closeout show that I do. So the actual Super Bowl will not be the last show. And then we'll start a new season in March, and season 5 of VAS Live begins. So James Johnson sends a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, James. He says, February 3rd, 2002, I turned 5, and Brady would go on to win 5 more as a Patriot. February 3rd, 2008, I turned 11, and Tom would not only lose to the Giants in Super Bowl 42, but Super Bowl 46 in 2011. February 3rd, 2019, I turned 22, and Brady would go 2 for 2 versus the Rams. That's awesome. I love that. That's That's very cool, and it's just amazing. Like I said, so many people were born or very young at the time Tom was drafted, and just now seeing him finally retire, and all they've known is greatness, and that is just insane. So. Dave Wilhauer sends a $20 super chat. Wow, thank you guys so much. Man, Dave says, take Milena to see 80 for Brady. I think she will like it. Is it out? Is it out? If it's out, Milena, you want to go see it? No, I meant like on beginning of next week. It'd be perfect. So. Is she going to start crying in that one too? Guys, you have to understand that Brady has been a big part of our life. One of our first dates was me taking her to a sports bar to watch Brady play against the Buffalo Bills. And we have a lot of photos from that time. It was like a morning brunch thing or whatever you want to call it. But it's always been a part of our lives, and we've done so many things based off of Brady games and what he's doing at the time. We've thrown so many parties and traveled, and like I said, met some people. This isn't just an athlete retiring. I know some people can make fun of it or whatever, or make fun of us, but it's more than that. It's way more than that. Elf of Courage sends a $20 super chat. He says, I was 22 when Brady was drafted in 2000. I was 25 when I became a Patriots fan in 2002. I was 26 when Brady won his third Super Bowl. I was 30 when Brady lost Super Bowl 42 to the Giants. And I was 38 when Brady won his fourth ring. Mr. A, are you going to be okay? I think Mr. A is yeah. Yeah, he might need counseling. Yeah. What's this? Well, how cool is that? Tyler Belcher just gifted a VonAllen Sports membership to one of you guys. I wonder who it goes to. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Yeah, so one of you guys is going to get a free membership courtesy of Tyler Belcher. That's amazing. Thank you, man. Oh, it comes out Friday, so perfect. Yeah, we'll go see it beginning next week. Yeah, let me know if you're the one that the computer picked for the free membership. I think the AI or whatever you want to call it, it selects it based off of commenting or something. I don't know. We don't have any control over it, but that is so cool. So if you're not a member, you might get picked there. So awesome. It went to Tyree. Tyree's already a member, though, isn't he? That's strange. Tyree is not only a member, Tyree is level 4. I wonder how that works. Interesting. That's funny.
I'm gonna try one again. Also.
And I just want to real quick, I just want to give a shout out to some people. Of course, people in the main legion, and we've got Daniel. You guys don't know him as Daniel probably, but he goes by the name of Nightwalker, and this guy has been a massive contributor to VAS, and not just in the chat, and being a great friend. Me and him have become very good friends over the years, and we've never even met in person, but yet we've gotten very close, and talked about a lot of personal things. I would never known he existed, and he wouldn't have known I existed if it wasn't for Tom Brady. But Nightwalker, you're awesome, man. James Johnson, same exact thing through the channel. It's crazy, right? Of course, the Red Coat, Mr. A, I already mentioned. I talked about them. Patrick, you guys know him as Bitcoin Motorist, and he did the moderation for the debate. Awesome dude. We've become good friends now. In fact, he even came here last year for my birthday. Brought me some a great present. It's crazy, you know. So these people I've met strictly through Tom Brady. There's Donnie. You guys know him as Take a Pick as well, and all of you guys who are here in the chat. So it looks like the membership thing is working. How cool is that?
Yeah, I gifted one and several other people.
Oh, Tyree just gifted it back. Oh, Nightly Sinister gifted one. And so did James Johnson. Wow, somebody's going to... All of you guys are going to be damn members by the time this night's over.
Oh, I did one to Sierra.
That is so cool. Yeah, can we invite Todd Bowles to be a member and then we sacrifice him? Let's drop him off over at Bohemian Grove. Imagine being the coach that was responsible for giving Tom Brady his only losing season, and it's the one that ended him. Imagine being that bad at your job. That's your legacy, man. That's Todd Bowles' legacy, and that's Byron Leftwich's legacy. That's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So there's a video I found, and you guys see Nightly Sinister in the chat. His name's Kevin, and he's been my friend since we were in kindergarten. And it was him and my brothers, Jason and Steven, my friend Mike Brown. And we were filming we were joking around. Basically, we were pretending to be sportscasters. This was during Super Bowl 39. So before the AFC Championship game, the Steelers and the Patriots in 2000, this was the 2004 season. And before the championship game, we talked about what the outcome was going to be, and we pretending to be sportscasters, kind of being stupid or whatever. Had no idea that was going to lead to one day being this in some form. It's very strange. And so we did that, and then we did one for the beginning of the Super Bowl between the Eagles and Patriots. And we're talking about Tom Brady, but the way we're referring to him is so much different than now, and as it has been the last decade, even last 15 years, because we didn't know the extent of what we were witnessing. All we had at this point when we were doing those videos was he won in 2001 and he won in 2003, and so they were trying to be back-to-back champs, and this has happened before. So it's not something that is crazy to think about, you know. So you got to think about it. That moment. Tom had 2 rings, and we talked about Brady like a guy with 2 rings. We didn't say he was the greatest. We didn't even talk about him as having a place in the NFL Hall of Fame and the NFL legacy and the lore and all that stuff. It just wasn't spoken about. I mean, Troy Aikman had won 3, just 10 years, roughly 10 years before that. Elway had gone back to back just a few years before that. Montana won 4 in the 80s. So this wasn't something that was shocking to us. So we talked about him with reverence, but it wasn't anything close to what it become. It's so strange looking back and watching that video and watching how we are, and it's just so bizarre. Yeah, it's trying to think. At the time, so he was going for number 3. We didn't think in those terms, though. It wasn't like, oh, he's going to get 3, 4, 5, 6. It wasn't that way. It just, it's hard to explain, but it just didn't. We didn't think like that, and only Tom later on made the thinking process this way about counting rings, 4, 5, 6, like making it a possibility, making it something that we actually talked about constantly. And the reason I'm bringing this up mainly is because the way they talk about Patrick Mahomes, he's about to play in his 3rd Super Bowl. He has a chance to win his 2nd ring, okay? And when I was talking about Tom, and me and my brothers and my friend Kevin, when we were talking about Tom, he'd won 2 and was trying for 3, and we didn't even mention his name in regards to the great ones. Didn't even touch it. It never occurred to us to do that. It's a young guy. His career just started. Why would we do that? That's absurd. It's disrespectful. Okay? But they've been doing that with Mahomes, and he's only won 1 ring. And they've already saying that he can get 7, 8, 9. And it just so seeing that video reminded me of how much things have changed, and it's so bizarre. People just don't understand how hard it is, how difficult it is to win the way Tom has done. They just don't. They don't get it. They don't. They can't. They think everything is like a video game, like Madden. And then they think that, people play the Madden seasons where you win over and over again every single year forever. And they think that that's how it works. And not literally. I mean that it's something that's in the back of their mind. And they almost don't realize it's almost unconscious. It's something that makes them not fully grasp how hard this was of what Tom did. Now we've got 10 Super Bowls, and again, the Brady Challenge, okay, which Milena named, very good. The Brady Challenge, and this is, you can win when you first get started, but you've got to win later, okay? And we have to understand something. It took 10 Super Bowls to get 7. He just as easily could have 10 rings. And he just as easily could have only 1 and lost 9. Because 9 of them were insanely close. 9 of them could have gone one way or the other. The 7th one, the last one, or the 7th victory, but the 10th Super Bowl, was a blowout. So that one is the only one that you can't really say could tilt either way. And so the point is, he could be 10-0 or he could be 1-9. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because people need to understand just how easily you can lose them. There's just one or two things that you didn't do correctly, and you could possibly lose those Super Bowls. And 7 out of 10 times, Tom made the right decisions and made the decision that would affect everything. That is what you want from a quarterback. That, when it comes down to it, that is what you want. And the stats are cool, the MVPs are cool, all that, and it shows how efficient, how good a quarterback is from year to year. But what we really want, at the end of the day, what we really want is that quarterback in the Super Bowl making those correct decisions and getting the job done and not being fazed by the situation. So how many would someone have to go to? How many Super Bowls would someone have to go to in order to equal Tom Brady? Well, the idea that someone would ever go to 10 again is stupid. The idea that someone would go to 5 again is very difficult to comprehend. If we're talking about Mahomes, for example, and he's going to his third one, he's already lost one. Okay, so remember, at this point, Tom is not lost. Tom has gone 3-0. He didn't lose until his fourth one. That could have easily gone the other way. So Patrick could, let's say, somehow miraculously gets back to the Super Bowl 6 or 7 times, 6, 7, 8 times. They all have to go his way. He can't afford any losses anymore. He just can't, because he's not going to make it to 10. So he cannot afford to mess up anymore. Okay, now I'm speaking realistically, just for the record, realistically, he's not even going to sniff that many, not even close. Okay, no one is. But I'm just talking about if for some crazy way it happened, I just want people to understand how crazy this is. He can't mess up. He can't miss. You got to get back to them every year or every other year and not screw it up. And it's not possible. And that's the Brady challenge. You've got to do it with different teammates. You've got to be able to do it down the road, because there's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some problems. Now is what we expect of you. When you've got Andy Reid, when you've got Travis Kelce, when you've got a good team unit going, that's more so not even Kelce, but just Andy Reid, I should say. So you need to have that. And how long is he going to be around? How long can Andy coach? You have to understand that Tom Brady, when he got those first 3 Super Bowls and got up to that great start, Bill was relatively young at the time. Younger. Okay? So there was a 20 years was possible. But is Andy Reid going to be able to give Patrick another 12 years? Is that possible? So, and again, I'm not mentioning this because I think Patrick will do anything like that. I'm just mentioning it in the context of how crazy it is what Tom has done. And that's really the point here. So, and I respect what Patrick has done so far, but we always have a generational talent. Each group and crop of quarterbacks, and there's always going to be those few guys who dominate, their era. That happens no matter what. It always happens. Patrick is one of them, and who knows? Joe Burrow may be another. We'll see. So, Maybe there's a kid that nobody even knows is coming yet. What about Arch Manning? Maybe he is the next group. So when he finally comes in. But what about Tom's son? What if his oldest Jack wants to be a quarterback? What if he wants to come into the NFL and he's awesome? So just my nephews one day hopefully will be wanting to play football. You never know. So of course, that's just me being an uncle, and but thank you guys for gifting those memberships. Y'all are awesome. What is that noise? It's probably Rosie O'Donnell walking backwards on our street. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, here we go. Alpha Courage sends a $5 super chat. Says next season Todd Bowles is going to wish he had Tom Brady on his 3 and 14 bucks, and I'm gonna revel in it. I'm gonna enjoy this so much. So screw you, Todd Bowles. Just watch what's gonna happen there. It's gonna be hilarious. Tyler Belcher sends a $2 super chat. He says hit that sub. Thank you guys. Yes, please. Please sub, and once you do, make sure the bell icon is solid color. Alpha Courage sends a $2 super chat. He says Brady's first 3 Super Bowl wins were by 3 points. Yeah, it's crazy. Very crazy. Crazy close, you know? It's always good, guys. It's good to win in a blowout, of course, for your stress level and all that, but we can't learn too much about a quarterback in a blowout, right? Things can happen to where they get off to a good start and it just snowballs from there, right? It's hard to kind of get to know that quarterback as a clutch performer. And so it's a weird thing, right? It's a weird thing to sit there and say, can the quarterback, is he any good if he just won in a blowout? Well, we're not sure. I mean, Trent Dilfer won in a blowout. Brad Johnson won in a blowout. It's Joe Montana's had blowouts before. So, but Joe also has won games that were close. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting to think about it. It just shows you that if there was any other quarterback for the Patriots, they don't win those Super Bowls, you know, because the margin for error was that small. And none of the defenses, for as great as they were, none of them could really just dominate and make it to where any moron on offense could probably win a few of them, right? They were never that dominant. They were never the Baltimore Ravens, or they were never that even the 02 Bucks, you know. They were just never that team that was just so overwhelming and crazy that you didn't need a clutch quarterback in order to come through for you. That's what's so crazy about Tom Brady. The guy's a fucking winner. Okay, he's just a born winner. He wins at everything. And I respect winning. I respect the winner. I respect someone who wants to be great, who doesn't take no for an answer, who hates to lose, who finds a way to get the job done no matter what. Okay? And that's him. That's him. And the guy is only a few years older than me, but yet I look at him as a an example. Okay? So as an inspiration, as an example of what you can achieve when things aren't in your corner. Things aren't set up for the way that other people get set up. And what I mean by that is Tom has never been the greatest athlete. To be quite honest with you guys, I am a better athlete than Tom is. I'm a better natural athlete than Tom is. But it doesn't matter, because athleticism is nothing without greatness. It is nothing without the mind and the will to get things done, and the will to just be so crazy about one thing in particular. And that's him. So the guy didn't get the gifts that Patrick Mahomes was born with, whose father was a baseball player. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying that Tom didn't get that. Tom didn't get to be Peyton Manning and Eli, who was born to a quarterback and grew up from the very time they learned how to walk, they knew how to throw a football. That's a different thing. And that's what I mean. Tom Brady is not supposed to happen. That was not supposed to happen. Even the guys who, the quarterbacks who no one wants and make something of themselves, those guys always have some athletic ability. You know, like really excellent athletic ability. Tom didn't even get that, and that's what makes it so crazy. And this is why, one of the reasons why he is hated is because he is not the traditional athlete. People cannot accept that he is the greatest of all time. People cannot accept this. It bothers them. It bothers them because he is a 6th-round pick. It bothers them because he seems to win at everything. It bothers them that he is not an athlete, so they can't comprehend, why is this guy winning so much? Why is he this way? It just doesn't fit their worldview. It doesn't fit how they think things should be. And people get uncomfortable with stuff like that. It seems to be human nature, you know? So Elf of Courage sends a $5 super chat. He says, if Mac Jones doesn't work out, is Johnny fucking Football still available? I'm sure Addie would like that. So that's funny, man. James Johnson sends a $2 super chat. He says, 80 for Brady premieres Friday on my 26th birthday. Awesome. Well, there you go. You know what, Jalen? Yeah, Andy's 64, but you know what I'm really concerned about is his health. You know, I wouldn't take it for granted that he can just coach another 10 years. So I mean, just walking on the sideline, he looks like he's about to have a stroke. It's just Tyler Belcher sends a $2 super chat. He says, what's your top 5 quarterbacks right now? Wow. The problem with answering this is some guys are having off seasons, so it would depend on like who I think has great ability and also can get things done if the situation is good for them. So I'm just going to answer this. This is just right off the top of my head. But right now, I'm not going to put them in any order. But top 5, I think, obviously, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, obviously, Justin Herbert, believe it or not, Aaron Rodgers. I think that next year Aaron Rodgers is going to wreak havoc on the league. He's going to, if he doesn't stay in Green Bay. So if he stays in Green Bay, no. But if he goes to a team where he gets to pick and he chooses wisely, I think he's going to be back in MVP contention again. So one down season does not make you a bad quarterback. He didn't just forget how to play, and he hasn't lost anything. There was really no decline the same way we saw in Tom. So we have to be realistic about Aaron and admit that. So I would still say Aaron is still a premier quarterback in the NFL. And I guess the 5th one would still be Josh, but I'm kind of having doubts about Josh Allen now. It's I don't know, man. He just doesn't come through in the big moments. And but again, these are personal preferences as well. I don't really like hybrid quarterbacks or running quarterbacks. I'm not into that. So it's okay, I guess, but I like pocket passers for the most part. So I mean, there's certain guys that are special that, I can end up liking. Like when I was a kid, I loved Randall Cunningham, and he was a hybrid quarterback. So it just depends, really. It depends on if your style is just so cool that, it's undeniable, right? But at the same time, here's what's weird. I could not stand Steve Young's game. I hated Steve Young's game. I thought it was so sloppy, and I couldn't believe that 49ers went from Montana to Steve Young. It was just the difference, but I didn't like it. I wasn't into his style. Seemed so chaotic, and it was just weird. And of course, you guys know that one of my favorite quarterbacks was Warren Moon when I was a kid, and he one of the greatest pocket passers of all time. So that's just something that I gravitate towards, and that's my preference. So. James Johnson sends a $10 super chat. Says, remember, after Tom lost Super Bowl 42 to the Giants, and people were still debating whether Tom would make it into the Hall of Fame after winning 3 Super Bowls out of 4 appearances and had 2 Super Bowl MVPs and 1 league MVP. Absolutely, I remember that. I remember that the qualifications for the Hall of Fame were so just insane, right? And it wasn't just a given that you're going to get into the Hall of Fame. They're already talking about Joe Burrow being a future Hall of Famer and all this stuff. And you can say that, he has that kind of ability, or he could be on the way if he whatever. But they say it like it's a done deal so easily. And they put Patrick Mahomes in the Hall of Fame 2 years ago. Like if you half those people, that the analysts, they did it 2 years ago, and it's bizarre, but yeah, you're absolutely correct. Tyler Belcher sends a $2 super chat, and he says, oh, sorry, I meant what's your all-time top 5 right now. I gotcha. Okay. So I'm not going to put these in order because that's going to spoil that could spoil the greatest quarterbacks of all time project that we have coming out in the offseason. So I'm not going to put in any kind of order. In fact, I don't know the order. I don't know what the formula is going to tell us. So, but just personally, for me, right off the bat, I would say that top 5 for me is, of course, Tom Brady, number 1. I would say, obviously. Then there's Joe Montana. Can't deny Joe. It's obvious. Peyton. So we've got Tom, Joe, Peyton. Okay. Johnny Unitas. That 5th one's always difficult because there's several. It's like a traffic jam right there. Well, it's hard to pick between personal favorite and what I think who deserves to be there, So I'm going to say on deserving to be there. Oh gosh, it's hard. I guess I'm going to have to go. Guess I'm going to have to go John Elway. I'm going to have to give it to John. Although he's not particularly one of my favorite quarterbacks, but it's undeniable, what he achieved over his. See, I think getting to the Super Bowl is a big deal as well. But if you can win them, awesome. Of course, obviously, and you need to win them in order to be considered. But the getting there is so difficult as well. And John has played in 5, and he played a very long time. He there were several years, many years, where he was the only thing keeping that team alive. The only reason why they were anything. So yeah, I'd have to say John is in there. So that's my top 5. Now my my favorite quarterbacks is way different, and wouldn't be a greatest of all. Would be considered the top 5 greatest of all time. So my favorites would be Brady, Warren Moon, Kurt Warner. Of course, they're all Hall of Famers, so that works. So Joe Montana. So there's 2 that's the same. Yeah. So, and I would say an older guy like Johnny Unitas or Otto Graham, and because I have so much respect for those guys, but I can't in good conscience say that they're my favorites because I never saw them play, and I never experienced their careers. I never got to be a part of that. So yeah, that's just it. I mean, I appreciate what they've done and the history behind it and all that, but I can't say that they would be my favorite. That would be disingenuous. And it would, yeah, it's just, but Warren Moon was always my number 1 favorite until Tom Brady came along and just knocked him off. So Actually, I'd probably have to put Peyton in up there too. Is one of my favorites. Just because I got to watch him play and everything, and yeah, he was amazing, man. He was amazing for so long, and it took the greatest ever to kind of suppress what he could have achieved, you know. So. Because Peyton needed that early start, you know, and that early start kept, you know, Tom kept stalling him, and you need that early start. That's what I was saying earlier about the Brady challenge, is that you have to get started fast, and then you have to be able to sustain that and win later, you know, sometimes much later, you know, so. James Johnson sends a $10 super chat. He says, GOAT talk didn't really start for Tom until after Super Bowl 49. Meanwhile, Patrick wins one Super Bowl and he's the GOAT. Blah. Just forget that 2 of Patrick's 3 playoff losses came from who? TB12 has denied Patrick Mahomes 2 rings. Yep, it's absolutely true. And now that Tom's retired, Patrick cannot get even. He can't hope to meet Tom in another Super Bowl. So he can't one up him. He can't at least get a level playing field now. So if some stupid way that Patrick Mahomes got 7 rings wouldn't be enough because Tom's got the tiebreaker. So Patrick would need 8. That's crazy. So that's crazy. It's crazy talk, though, like you said. Maria, what's up? She sends a $12 super chat. She says, I cried last season when he announced his first retirement. This time feels I need professional help. One thing for sure, if not for Tom Brady, I would have never known VonAllen Sports and Milena Nefertiti. Yes, I need counseling. Absolutely. Like you, Maria, Milena has been very upset all day long. So it sucks. It does suck. It sucks in the way that we're not going to have that anymore, and it's hard for things to end, you know? It wasn't easy when he said he was leaving the Patriots. And at the time, I was just grateful that he was still playing. And then last year, I didn't believe he was retiring. That video of Milena filming me while I'm in bed, I didn't even bother to get up. I just said he'll unretire very, very soon. Before the draft is what I said. And funnily enough, that was on February 1st of last year. And this time, he announced his retirement. I knew it was for real. So the only way, guys, you'll ever see Tom Brady play again, it's not happening. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying, but the only circumstance in which he would play again is he would be called upon by a team who was really, really good, but they're needing a quarterback. And it's got to be something that he feels he can plug in and be pretty good. What he doesn't want to do is the grind of the season. I don't think he has any interest. See, when he was mulling this retirement the last few weeks, or however long he's been thinking about it, just because I know how players are and I know how they think, and almost all of them think the same way, when it comes to retiring, it's not the thought of playing a regular season game or a playoff game and that they just don't want to do it. What actually bothers them the most is training camp, the preseason, and then the regular season grind, the day-to-day practicing, the meetings, all of that stuff, okay? The thought of starting that whole thing over again just to hope to get back to the playoffs is a very daunting task. It's something that's on your mind that you were like, oh man, come on, I don't want to go through that again. And so that does factor into most of these guys when they retire, that the idea that I just don't want to go through that anymore. So the only way that he would do something like that is, let's say, I'm just making this up, okay? I'm not saying this is happening. It's not even the right fit. I'm just throwing it out there just for fun. Let's say the Kansas City Chiefs, okay, are 13-0, whatever, next year. And then somebody comes in and takes out Patrick Mahomes' knee or whatever. And they have Chad Henne is all they got left. Andy Reid says, hey, I'm going to call Tom Brady. So Tom can come out and take over for Mahomes, let's say. And he saves face because people are like wanting him to come back, and he was kind of brought out of retirement and brought back, and it's not the same as him changing his mind a few weeks from now. It's just not the same thing. It's not. So again, that's never going to happen. And even if it did, it wouldn't be the Chiefs. I was just for fun. I was just throwing that out there. But that would be the only way you would ever see Tom play again. But it's not happening. So. Elf of Courage sends a $5 super chat. He says, some notable Brady games. The Payback Bowl, Week 17, 2003. Oh, God. That one was sweet. Man, that one, it felt so good. Then to get the revenge there. The Tuna Bowl, Week 11, 2003. Another great one. The Monday Night Epic in Miami, Week 1 of 2011. Those are a lot of good ones. Hey guys, we have over 50 people watching and only 44 likes. Can you please click like on here and subscribe if you're new? So I'm going to be taking phone calls soon for you guys. Just going to get caught up here for a second. We're going to need some kind of counseling session, probably some private one. Oh, Jalen, I didn't. I'm not saying that he retired because of the grind. I'm saying that is something that is, something that's on your mind and you're thinking about it. So if you've got other reasons why you're retiring, the grind of it is definitely one of those things where you're doing a pros and cons. How you like make a pro con list and you're like, well, this is good, but this sucks. Well, the grind of it all is definitely in the cons. The cons list, and it's like, oh, I don't have to do that. And stuff like that. But no, it would never, for Tom Brady, that would never be the reason why he retires. So, that's just something that these players, they do think about, and it does. Over time, especially when you've been in the league as long as Tom has, you don't feel like you need that stuff. Unless he was going to a new team. And a new team, he knew how hard he had to work with Tampa Bay to get up to date on everything and learn their system. So he knows that if he goes to a new team, he's gonna have to give all of that, and just maybe he's not. He doesn't think he can give that anymore. And we all know Tom. Tom doesn't do anything if he can't give it everything. So that's why I'm trusting his decision. And he knows. So is there a problem with my stream, guys? I saw 2 people comment. Can you guys give me a heads up? Let me know. Is there something wrong? Trying to see if I have anything open. That would cause the glitch. No, everything's pretty much normal like I always have it. We're all good? All right. So Bloody Pleb says if Fran Tarkenton got a ring, the list would change the line. Well, more like Dan Marino, but yeah, Dan Marino as well. I mean, Jim Kelly, if he had just won one of those four, man. So, okay. So, I'm going to send you guys the link, but like I said, one at a time, okay? And try not to take too long. That way other people can call in if they want, so we have time. And then if nobody does, then you can always call back if you want to talk longer. So I'm going to post the link right now. Milena, is that you? Or is that my cats? I guess it's cats. Okay. So I'm just going to take the first person, and if once I take somebody, go ahead and hang up. Don't keep calling until I'm ready for you, and I'll let you know when I'm ready for you. So there's the link, and I'm going to pin it to the top. And so basically, if you call in, just tell me, how you about Brady, what it you can whatever you want, is Brady your favorite of all, whatever. So first caller is, let's see here. Well, it's all red for some reason. Hello?
Hello?
It's all red. Is there something wrong with your camera?
Nope. I got it covered up.
Oh, okay. So it's just audio?
Yeah, I have the camera covered up.
Oh, okay. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay. So Jason, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. I just want to give my eulogy on Tom's career.
Okay. You're the first one here, so go for it.
So yeah, this is going to be quick, but I just want to go through a bunch of points. I remember the first time he hit the field as a Patriot, I was kind of upset because it took my boy Drew out. And to this day, my out of all the memories I have of watching NFL games in person, there are 3 memories in my life that I have watching NFL games. I've probably been to about maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 or 9, something like that. I don't know how many, but 3 of them. One of them is seeing a guy who was I didn't really appreciate watching on TV, but when I saw him play in person, I realized just how good he was, and that was Brian Urlacher. Watching him on TV was the same, but when you see him in person, it's like a whole nother level. That guy, it's unbelievable what he can do out there and how his brain works as a defenseman. And the second one is watching Drew Bledsoe warm up as a Dallas Cowboy in the Cardinals field. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That was the game we were at, right?
There. Yes, that's right. We were there. Yeah. Watching Drew and he's like bigger than Tom Brady. He's like an inch or two taller than Tom is, and Tom's a giant, But yeah, that's my second. And my third memory that I have is my most recent, and it was on Christmas about a little over a month ago. watching Tom Brady from right behind his head, section 126 down there. Every time he came to the bench to sit down, he put his ball cap on, and I was looking at the back of his head from not too far away, and it was really cool to see him play in person for the first time. But anyway, for his career, what I'm trying to get at for his career is that people are talking a lot of smack about, how he had it right. He had, everything going for him. Well, here's the thing is when you're talking about people like Joe Montana, you're talking about people who had Jerry Rice, of course, you're talking about, Troy Aikman, who had, Irvin, Sanders, and Smith. You're talking about Marino, who had, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, Manning had Wayne, and everybody always had something. Brady, for the most part, was dealing with different guys about every couple of seasons. He didn't have those career guys for his career. He was working with different people every time, and every time he brought somebody in, it was a no-name. I mean, Deion Branch and Moss, they were the only two known guys, and even at that, they weren't there for very long. Brady won Super Bowl rings without them all throughout his career.
Yeah, but even Deion wasn't even that known until he won Super Bowl MVP, and then that kind of put him on the map. So yeah.
Right. And so anyway, what happened is the Patriots were so comfortable with Brady, they would just draft anybody, and Brady would make anybody a star. Wes Welker was no one before or since. Edelman was no one before. Amendola was no one before. Gronk was no one before. Of course, they were drafted into the Patriots. A couple of them were, but still, the thing is that on any other team, those guys would not have those rings. They're good, but Tom took anybody and made him a star. And like Æron was saying earlier, Tom isn't the most athletic quarterback, but when you say he's not an athlete, I don't agree with that. Tom is a fantastic athlete. The only thing he lacks is fast legs, and that's it. Other than that, he's a great athlete. If you take someone who can have, part of being athletic is hand-eye coordination. Part of being athletic is depth perception with your using your body. And how many times do you see Brady miss snaps when they come at him? That's athletic to be able to. He doesn't miss a lot of those, and then to be able to throw like he does, to do the body mechanics and like he does, he's very athletic. It's just that his legs just aren't naturally fast like some guys. That's all. But so I would say when he gets that rap about not being very athletic, just because he's a pocket passer and he's not running around chaotically 30 yards behind him and then off to the side and off to the front trying to scramble like a Roethlisberger, who I don't know how he survived his whole career. Roethlisberger is like the slowest guy that never got tackled. It's crazy. Somehow he always avoided getting tackled, and he doesn't run very fast. But he was an athlete for sure. And then for people in his private life that talk smack about him, well, you even made a good point just a minute ago about him coming back. When you said the only way he would come back would be for the right situation. Notice that you did not mention money one time in that, because that would not be his motivation, and we all know that. After him sacrificing, he's restructured his contract probably more than 50% of the years he's played, to get better players, to do what's best for the team, because he cared about winning. He didn't care about the paycheck as much. And so people say, oh, Tom Brady's a jerk, whatever. Tell me how many other football players would do that. I just want to hear one name. I want to hear one name of anybody who would do that. And if you do, it's single digits of anybody else who would do that. But yet, I've been reading Yahoo articles. People who don't even know anything about football are calling him greedy. They keep calling Tom greedy and greedy and greedy. Dude, he's like the least greediest NFL player ever. He's been undervalued. He's been paid under market value most of his career. And, and then they talk about his personal stuff with, Giselle and all that stuff. And all I've been reading their comments where everybody says, oh, his ego wouldn't let him quit. So he lost his whole family out of it. And because he wanted to play one more year. No, that's not it. People don't know anything. What happened is his career was already, or his marriage was already done. And that's why he came back, because then he had nothing to lose. He actually quit to save his marriage. And then when his marriage, he knew it was over. We don't know them behind the scenes. All we know is when their divorce is announced at whatever date that was. But him and Giselle know what's going on way before we know. So when he realized that that it was all over, then he said, "Okay, well, I may as well come back now because now it didn't work out like I wanted it to." So people get the wrong idea about all that stuff, and then they give him crap about Bridget Moynihan and stuff. It's like, dude, even Bridget didn't even know she was pregnant when they broke up. Everybody says, "Oh, Tom knocked her up and got rid of her." That's not exactly what happened at all. Bridget didn't even know she was pregnant until after they broke up, and then she goes like, "Oh, Tom, I'm sorry we broke up," but it's just a situation. What happens in life? Nobody did anything wrong. It just is what it is. Now, here's something that I think about his retirement today, and one of the reasons why I think that he's so comfortable with it is because it didn't hit me until a few minutes ago, probably about 30 minutes ago when I was watching this show, but I've been seeing a lot of footage of him trying to mentor his son, Jack, and stuff on the field during Tampa Bay practice. I think he's wanting to coach Jack himself to be the next big football star. And I think he knows he can't do that when he's playing, because right now Jack is in his development years right now. He's what, 5'11", 6 feet tall, and he's like 14, 15 years old. Yeah. I mean, this is and his son doesn't look very athletic himself. He looks pretty, but he's also pretty tall and lanky for his age. So he's not grown into his body yet. But the thing is I really believe
he reminds me a bit of like us, kind of like skinny, lanky, kind of he's in that awkward phase, when we were kids.
Well, yeah,
that kind of.
But the thing. Yeah, I just think that he's in. I think that his son is, by him showing up and his son was a ball boy at Tampa this year during practices. And I think that Tom has decided, well, not his decided, but I think Jack decided, and Tom, since he decided that, Tom decided to help him to mentor his son, because, everybody knows how proud he is of his kids. I mean, he shows off his kids more than anybody in the NFL that I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But remember, he's a jerk. He's a jerk, though. He doesn't like he hates his family.
He's a bad father. Yeah, he's a bad father.
Yeah, he's a bad father. But all he does is he advertises his kids more than any NFL player I've ever seen. In fact, can anybody right now name any kids from any other quarterback or any other player in the NFL? Not really. But we see his kids because he puts them out there.
Yeah.
He stays active with them. But I think that his retirement is, I think he's wanting to I think he feels comfortable with that, because now I think he knows that he's wanting to develop his son in his development years, which is right now. This is exactly when his son needs him the most if he wants to be a big quarterback.
It's true.
So I think that's what he's going to end up doing. But man, just watching all those comebacks and stuff that he did, and him being he's a general, man. He's a field general. He's not some quarterback that's waiting for the call to come through his helmet, speaker. He's a general himself. In fact, he'd be better off if he just turned the darn thing off. And I was asked today if he was going to be a coach. Obviously, he'd make a fantastic coach, but I know he's got that little contract with Fox for the broadcast booth, which may or may not happen. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that all this talk about him, people always want to go to his personal life. They want to say, "Oh, he's a jerk. He's greedy. He doesn't care about his family," and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, show me players, any other players in the entire NFL who you can say that aren't like that, and now tell me how many you can say that do the things that he does that you're claiming, about him. Like it's just everybody's haters, man. Everybody's haters. When I first started watching Tom, I was like, man, this Johnny Knoxville guy is awesome. But then I started calling him Johnny Knoxville, and Aaron didn't like that very much. But still, they look like each other to me. But but yeah, man, I just really think that if Tom had held on this year, and if he would have went to a team that was decent, I think he would have won another ring. I think this year, this year he had the worst entire offense. He had the worst everybody working for him. He had the worst coaches and everything. And he still was number 2 and 3 in almost every stat category in the quarterbacks this year. Top 5 for sure.
I thought he didn't have an arm anymore, but yet he threw the most passes of anyone ever. So, and this year, which is insane. Well,
he also had a couple of 60-yard throws too.
Exactly.
Anyway,
that's my
stuff. So yeah, I got one more thing to say. Meh, meh.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it.
Bye. Okay. That was interesting. Whoever's up next, Go ahead and call if the line's open. I just want to say that, and I want to clear something up here. Okay, we got Elf of Courage. I don't think Elf of Courage has ever called before. That's interesting. Let me get him up here real quick. Elf on a shelf. Elf on a shelf. Well, how's it going, man?
Never called before.
Hi there. Am I coming in?
Yeah, you're on right now.
Okay.
Elf on a shelf. Elf on a shelf.
Elf on a
Well, how's it going?
Yeah,
man?
Oh,
I can. Can you
Been
can you
going
turn
good.
the can you turn the show down though? I can hear it coming through.
You're on right now.
wait.
Okay.
Say that again.
The show, I can hear it. You have the show playing. I can hear it coming through.
Oh, can you turn the show down though? I can hear it coming through.
Oh. Okay.
All right, perfect. Yeah. One thing
There's
thing
a
I
bit
just
of a
want.
delay between my phone and the show I'm watching.
Yeah, that's strange.
Anyway,
Why don't you hang up and call back again and see if that will fix the problem? That was weird. Yeah, I was expecting an elf. Or an elf on a shelf.
now, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
So, go for it.
To add to the Patrick Mahomes Brady comparison,
Uh-huh.
how many consecutive games has Patrick Mahomes won?
As far as what? Just games in general, regular season, playoffs, all that combined?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Game. How many can Mahomes won? Do you know how many consecutive games Brady has won the most in his career?
No.
October 2003 to mid-October 2004, Brady did not lose one game. He
that
won
was
21
the crazy
games
run.
in a row.
Yeah, that's insane.
So for Mahomes to be comparable, he would have to win 21 games in a row and then beat that just to put him second behind Manning. And then he'd have to win 26 to pass Manning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's insane. One thing. Well, yeah, I'll mention it later because it's something else. But with Patrick and how everyone's so excited about this, they want to make it happen so much because they want to dethrone Tom. Do you remember how they did with Aaron Rodgers? It was ridiculous, So
Yes. But then again, they were hating on Brady pretty much ever since he beat Kurt Warner in Super Bowl 36. They were hating on him even then.
it pissed a lot of people off. Yeah.
Brady and the Pats dynasty never supposed to happen.
Nope.
Because I can
Absolutely.
remember winning Super Bowl 36, called him a one-time. I even still remember Rich Eisen, after winning Super Bowl 38, said he was not that good.
Yep.
And then after beating Donovan McNabb to win 3 out of 4, they said he was a product of the system.
Yes. And that label was there up
Yeah.
until 07. So yeah. So after 07, after
And
he broke
remember back
the Brady's
when
record.
the Patriots were blowing teams out of the water, what did they say? And then in 07, when they
they're
were
running up
blowing
the
teams
score.
out
They're
of the
running up the
water, what
score.
did they say about Brady?
They're
Oh,
running
he's
up the
running
score.
up the score.
Yep. They started whining like little bitches.
Yeah. Although Brady and the Patriots should have sent a thank you letter to Rex Ryan after that game in Baltimore.
Yeah.
You remember that timeout called by Rex Ryan in Baltimore in 07?
Oh,
We couldn't have won that
absolutely.
game without him.
Absolutely. And
we would have lost that game had he not called timeout.
Yep. And I remember that Brian Billick, he took the blame for that. Like he kind of just didn't really he didn't throw that on Rex Ryan, you know. So at the time, I thought Brian Billick called it, and I hadn't realized that was Rex that did that. So yeah, Rex. That season should have that should have been a loss, and it makes me wonder. Let me ask you this: if they lose that game to the Ravens, do they beat the Giants in the Super Bowl, or doesn't change anything?
I couldn't say. I could not say.
Part of me thinks that they went into that Super Bowl very cocky.
And then
So
one last thing.
Yeah. The connection's bad. I'm trying to piece together what you're saying.
My 2 most memorable Brady moments. My 2 most memorable Brady moments was obviously Super Bowl 51, the greatest comeback ever.
Mm-hmm.
But also the AFC Championship game in 2007 where they lost to the Colts. And because in that game, with 6 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Brady has the ball,
mm-hmm.
and the Colts defense is so wiped out, so gassed that they couldn't defend a piece of cheese from a rat. And Brady is almost halfway down the field when the camera turns to the Colts sideline and see Peyton Manning with his face in his hands saying a prayer.
Yeah.
And guess what happened right after that? The ball was intercepted, and the Colts go to the Super Bowl.
I don't know how that's one of your favorite, but that's weird. But
Brady was so threatening, so great, so powerful that it made Hall of Fame quarterback say a prayer.
He was literally praying on the sidelines.
I could go on for days with Brady. I'll leave you with memories. Oh, in that Monday night epic in Miami. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brady
You talking about 2011?
99-yard touchdown
to
pass
Welker.
to Wes Welker.
Yeah. That was freaking awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
See Holmes throw a 9-yard touchdown pass. Let's do it.
It's amazing, dude.
And
It's
a little shout out to James Johnson. Here's your rival, the Elf. Here's the one you've been warring with.
Elf of Courage just called out James Johnson. You know what, Elf? You know what it reminds me of?
Good
Do you
fellow,
remember
RT.
Russell Crowe in Gladiator where he takes off the helmet? He's like, he reveals himself. So this was your big reveal to James Johnson. So James is going to have to return now. He's going to have to come in and back on video. James has been on before.
This is the Elf with 2 months.
That's hilarious, dude. That's good. I like that. All right, man. Thank you so much for calling. It was awesome seeing you. But you need to call more often. The connection is just not good. What is that? Whatever that is, it looks awesome, but I can't tell what it is.
That's a little VAS QB Formula Tournament Championship. It's a VAS QB Formula Tournament Championship belt.
Oh, that is badass. Okay, it froze up. It froze up. That is freaking cool. That is cool. That is cool.
Trying to get it lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I'm
cool.
not going to take up too much more time, so I'll.
Damn it. I don't know what happened. Elf. I'm so sorry, man. The connection was bad. I was trying to piece together what you were saying and stuff. Let's see here. Jalen.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, make sure the broadcast is turned down.
Jalen. Okay, hey, what's up? I'll turn it down. Give me a second.
Make sure
Yeah,
the broadcast is turned on.
Okay. A couple of things, and I had to watch a little Tom Brady legacy. By the way, Tom Brady legacy. It's a little short 10-minute video, and it gives you a stat about Tom Brady that I think encapsulates how great he is more than like saying the stats that we already know. You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is more likely to get to the Super Bowl than Michael Jordan was to make a shot in his NBA career. Like percentage wise. Michael Jordan's field goal percentage was 49.7. The video was shot 2 years ago, so I'm not sure about the percentage today, but I still think it's over 49.7. It was 52.6 when he got to that Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Right.
Like, yeah, so I'm pretty sure two more times don't make it lower than 49%. So, like,
That's
he was
insane,
more
dude.
likely to, yeah, that is insane. And also, to piggyback on what your brother said, I think he is a good athlete, just not good at athletic sports. What I mean is, like, if you put him in a game of darts and he just has to stand still and throw darts up there, he'll probably beat you in that and do pretty well. Or if you put him in a game of pool or something like that, just hand and eye coordination based things or whatever, not testing fast twitch muscle things and things like that. Like, he's good at those things. And a little bit of evidence is when he did that interview, when he did that thing on the tuck rule, which made me also realize that the only thing that they really did was not call the goddamn roughing the passer call, because he hit him in the head in that play.
Mm-hmm.
He actually beat him in a game of pool. And Charles Woodson is literally one of the best athletes, just like for pure twitch muscles and like natural athletes that ever existed. So like his actual athleticism in some ways is actually very good. He was also drafted as a baseball player or whatever
Yep.
to
Catcher.
I mean yeah. I think he was a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
To the Montreal Edmond or something. Well, a team that basically became
Montreal Expos.
yeah, the Montreal Expos. The team that basically became the national the team that's in my city right now because I live in DC.
The Washington Nationals. Yeah.
The Washington Nationals. So yeah, that was awesome. My first memory of Brady is probably the I didn't actually watch the Tuck Rule game. My first like memory of him is actually watching him in the Super Bowl. Um, and then I was
Super
like,
Bowl
oh, like
36.
the first one when he beat the Rams. And I still think that might be like his most impressive Super Bowl, considering who was on that team. Like, there is no one from that team that was going to like is ever going to like be a Hall of Fame like on the
No.
offensive side.
No.
That's going to be a Hall of Fame candidate. Like I like who's the guy that was probably the best receiver he had who ended up playing defensive back or
You talking about
something
Troy
just
Brown?
like Julian. Yeah, Troy Brown.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Troy Brown was his best receiver. When you can win the game with Troy Brown being your best receiver, and you look on who the Rams had
Mm-hmm.
on their team, like that game was like the besides the Jets versus the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, like there is no bigger upset. Well, maybe that like the three biggest upsets in history: New York versus Patriots, which the 2007 season, the one I mentioned, and like the all-time game that basically um put Joe, I forget his last name right now. The guy for the Jets, who's the only Jets player to
Joe
be in the
Namath?
Hall of Fame. Yeah, him.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe there are other Jets players in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know who they are. But yeah, like those Super Bowls are like the biggest upsets in like history.
Yeah.
Also, I think my favorite memory of him for a regular season game is probably him versus the Saints while Drew Brees is still there. Not when he's playing for Tampa, but when like I don't know if it was
Oh.
Rex Ryan or his brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You're
he
talking
has
about the
this.
Ken Brell Tompkins touchdown.
Yeah. When he has that touchdown against Kimbrel Tompkins to win that game, I was like, God damn, because I think he had on the series before had just thrown an interception, so
Yep.
like his mental fortitude to always keep fighting or whatever, is just like amazing. And there was another memory I was gonna say. Shit. What's up?
Well,
I can't remember now. That sucks.
yeah. I want to clear up something and I'm glad you mentioned about that because I'd forgotten. When I was talking earlier about Tom Brady as an athlete, and it seemed like a few people misunderstood me, I think Luke and then my brother also as well. I was speaking as far as how we think of an athlete as an overall grade at everything. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's not get crazy and say that he is the best athlete we've ever seen. I mean, he's got the slowest combine number in ever. Okay? The slowest combine numbers.
For a quarterback or for anything? Because I think he's are you sure he's not faster than any offensive lineman?
You know what? It may be quarterback only. It may be quarterback only. I'm not sure. It's pretty bad, but either way, it's bad. But that is not what I was referring to clearly. I was saying it's how people judge him and how the narrative
Yeah.
that he isn't a great athlete compared to like Mahomes or
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson or something. Okay, that is what I was talking about. I thought that would have been, to go without saying. I thought that was pretty clear, but I just want to make sure that that is
Yeah.
not what I meant. Obviously, he's a great athlete as far as hand-eye coordination and pocket presence and, you know, and his arm throwing ability clearly, but I meant how people perceived him as not a great athlete, that they don't think of him like Michael Jordan, for example. So
Yeah.
that is what I meant, not that Tom isn't an athlete. So,
He's more like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. They were like great athletes, but they didn't have really great verticals and stuff like that. They were just really good at fundamentals and
yes,
had
they're not
really great
all-around guys.
hand-on-eye coordination. Yeah, hand-and-eye
Yeah.
coordination and things like that, or whatever.
Exactly.
The Mahomes thing is a little interesting because I think Mahomes is gonna have some challenges. Like maybe no one else believes this, but I still believe Deshaun Watson is going to win some Super Bowls through his career, and if he wins some with Cleveland, it'll really catapult him up there. And I believe in Deshaun Watson ever since I watched him play in the last national championship game in his college
that was
career.
awesome. That was awesome. Yeah.
So
Now-
I have never stopped believing in Deshaun Watson. So like that one like I think he could end up, and I don't know, like Trevor Lawrence looks, I don't know, like when what's his name asked earlier who the top 5 QBs are, and I thought he meant right now, and since Tom Brady was retired, I put Trevor Lawrence in that list. Like I had Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. Josh Allen's the interesting one because I would also put him in the worst list. Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier too. This is okay. What's going on, dude? This is the second thing we've agreed on tonight. What's happening here? Okay, so yeah, so Josh Allen, it's like a teeter-totter, right?
Yeah,
it's very strange. But tell me this. Okay, well, first I just want to say, if Deshaun Watson can get the Cleveland Browns a Super Bowl, give them a bust in Canton. Just do it. Just do it. Let's just put them in there. But I want to know right now on the spot. Tell me, what is the best personal moment you've ever had watching Tom Brady? What was the one thing, like, you can only pick one. What is the number one best feeling or memory you have for yourself? How you reacted to something?
Okay, that's sort of like when in Kill Bill Volume 2, they what's her name asked Bill's brother about Artori Hanzo swords, and he said the only thing you can do with an Artori Hanzo sword is compare it to other swords that weren't made by Artori Hanzo. So trying to compare Tom Brady's personal best moments is sort of like that. But if I have to say, the comeback of watching him come back 20-3, or that one,
no, you can only pick one. There can be only one. There's got to be the one, and then there's others, but there's got to be the one. And I'll help you here, okay? Just for an example, the most I've ever lost my mind was Super Bowl 49 when Malcolm Butler intercepted it. That I lost my shit, dude. Like, really. All right.
Okay,
I mean,
I got it.
I was happy for all the other ones, but I lost my shit that day.
I got
that
it.
Fourth one.
And I got it. And this is not even a Super Bowl one. It was the one before he did a Super Bowl. He came back from 14 down twice against Baltimore the year he beat the Legion of Boom.
Yeah.
Like, that one is ridiculous. Like, I don't think they had. Was Ray Lewis on that team at that point? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, like,
No, he retired. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But, like, that one, like, coming, like, from 14 down twice in, like, the first and the second half. That one's got to be it for me. Like, the other ones are, like,
That's cool.
really awesome. Like, the other ones are really awesome or whatever. And part of me wants to say some reason the 2007 season because of how much he was blowing teams out. My problem with that season is I can't rank that season as his best because he didn't end up with the championship, which is why I don't consider Bill O'Brien the best out of his coordinators. I would actually give that to Josh McDaniels or Charlie Weiss, like one of those two, and not Bill O'Brien, because I look at Bill O'Brien as like you're the only one he didn't win one with. Like, maybe that's wrong, but that's how I see it.
The problem, well, no, the problem with Bill O'Brien, or not with him, but the problem for Bill O'Brien is that when he was coordinator, the defense was garbage for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like 2011, the only reason why the Patriots were in the Super Bowl in 2011 is because of the offense. You know, that was the year that the secondary was so bad that they had Julian Edelman out there. You know, on defensive back. So,
well, I mean, on the bright side, that's how Julian Edelman got to stay on the team that year.
I know he found a way. So,
like, and so like maybe it was bad for that year, but it served as a good year for the other years going forward. Because like,
yeah,
I think of Julian Edelman as I know other people don't agree, even people on this channel who are Patriots fans, which is ironic because I'm only a Tom Brady fan, not a Patriots fan. I think Julian Edelman's playoff resume should get him in the Hall of Fame. I just do.
Well,
I think
there's a difference between Patriots fans who want him to be in the Hall of Fame, or do they believe that he'll make it based on their criteria, and that's the difference right there. Do I want him in the Hall of Fame? Sure, I would. But they're not going to let him in because he doesn't have the other numbers. But so going back to the Baltimore Ravens game, that's one of the most stressful games I've ever experienced. That one,
watching going down 14 twice, I can imagine.
That one fucked my head up pretty bad. That one that was rough. Okay, that 2014 season was a rough year. It was good, but it was stressful, very stressful. Like that game against Green Bay where we lost. At the end there, you know, that was stressful too. But Jalen, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let somebody else get on here too. Okay. So,
all right, thanks, man.
Thanks for calling, man. I'll see you next time.
Later, man.
Okay. Who's up next? I saw earlier, I think maybe Tyree was calling. But the link is pinned to the top. So I start a clock here on my phone, 5 minutes, and then just to give me an idea of where I'm at on time. So I want everybody to be able to get on record what their favorite Brady moment was and all that. So yeah, that I agree, Gord King. That was a great pick by Jalen there. That game was so stressful. It was just massively stressful. Milena, do you remember the 2014 Super Bowl against the Seahawks, and we had a Super Bowl party at my mom's house. There's like a bunch of people there. Do you remember after Malcolm Butler's interception, I started you thought I was going to hyperventilate, and Milena grabbed my face and she goes, "Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. There's no flag. They're going to win. They're going to win. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down." Like, I was freaking losing my shit. You were worried about me, right? Yeah, I was losing my shit, dude. And I want you guys to understand, this ring was so important because everyone said it was, Spygate. And then that was the Deflategate thing. And And then another loss was about to happen. Another loss. Tom did everything he possibly could, put them up 28-24, just for the defense to fucking lose it again. Okay? Another Belichick defense that falls apart at the end. Every time. And that happened again. Until Malcolm Butler did what he did. And all I heard was, oh, Tom Brady's a cheater, and the Patriots are cheaters, and they can't win. They've not won one Super Bowl since Spygate happened, blah, blah, blah. And just all that stress and what that meant built up, you know. And at the time, the Legion of Boom, a lot of their players were very cocky, very annoying, and you wanted to kind of shut them up at the same time. Like, all of it happened at the same time. It was just very stressful. And my whole family was there. Everyone, I mean, we had 25, 30 people, I think, something like that. It was ridiculous. And of course, there was a few people at that party that were trolling and making fun of Tom Brady, saying he's going to lose again. And that didn't make it, that made it even more stressful. But, so I have to say that the moment I've been, my happiest moment has been that one. But there are so many, okay? So Super Bowl 36, the first one, was phenomenal, okay? That was amazing. But I have to admit, I did not have the same view of Tom and all that as and of the Patriots. It wasn't the same as trying to get that fourth ring. It was just because we had been through all that shit. We had been through everything, all the crap and everything. So, hey, what's up, Roman? I'd been through all that, and so the perspective completely changed by then, and it was very, very, very stressful. There's so many regular season games too that were just amazing, but yeah, if maybe I should put a video together of the top greatest games, top greatest moments for me personally. I wonder, would you guys be interested in something like that if I did that? So, Super Bowl 51 was insane, and some people might think, well, how was your reaction to Super Bowl 51 not the same as 49? Well, again, 49 was a prove it thing. That 49 had to happen, and it had to. It shut everyone up. It was the defining moment, and the way it happened. Literally, we were about to lose, and then whack, Malcolm Butler just flipped everything on its head. Okay, so the I think that kind of switch made it crazy. If you've seen Tom Brady celebrate after the Malcolm Butler interception, you can see that even for him, it was. It's just that flip in emotion from losing to winning, just like that, and that probably helped. But Super Bowl 51 was a bit different because as they were coming back, you could feel it happening, okay? But at the same time, they were getting blown out. And I was just, for a lot of the comeback, I was just happy that they were making a game of it. I was always in the moment, but it never felt like a victory was actually coming until then it went into overtime, and that was stressful. But Tom just went down the field, making it look so easy that the stress level just wasn't there like it was in 49 because we thought they were going to lose immediately. Had they not come back and won in overtime against the Falcons, it would have been understandable because I had already been at peace with the fact that they were getting blown out 28-3. Does that make sense at all? Am I making any sense? Just okay. So it was epic. I was at my brother's house, my brother Steven. We watched it together, and we went nuts. We went absolutely nuts, but still. I don't think anything will beat Super Bowl 49 as far as I'm concerned. Super Bowl 53 was extremely stressful for me and Milena. We were watching that in Bulgaria. And to be honest with you, I spent that whole Super Bowl just being stressed out. Okay? There was no celebration. There was no touchdown celebrations. There was nothing. until the very end. And going that whole game, knowing that a field goal, just one field goal would make the difference, made the game very bizarre. And that's definitely my least favorite of the Super Bowls that Tom Brady won. And that's only because of the stress of knowing that a field goal could make or break this, and the whole time, because nobody was scoring. It was 3-3 for most of the game. And that just made it bizarre. It just felt weird. Something was very wrong with that. Like I said, the early Super Bowls, I didn't have the perspective on what Tom was becoming. So it's a bit different. It was more of a team victory, a team celebration. It was more of happiness that the Patriots won, not specifically just Tom Brady. So it was a bit different. So it's a different feeling altogether. Yeah. Super Bowl 55 is a close second or third. No, it's definitely 49, 51, and then probably 36. But 55 was amazing. Again, me and Milena were in Bulgaria watching that one. I've got that one on film, so I've got it filmed, our entire reaction to that game, the whole game. And we are just like children. I'm almost embarrassed to release that to you guys because we're acting so ridiculous. So Tyree. Okay. Hey, Tyree, what's up, man? You there? We're not having good luck with phones tonight.
Go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There we go.
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. So, I'm going to ask you right off the bat. What is your number one Brady moment?
I would say my number one Brady moment was probably the one that got me to like Brady to begin with. I would say it was actually after they won their first Super Bowl. I would say it was it that?
The first one.
You know what? No, it was after 07. It was after 07 when they went on that undefeated streak right after. I loved how Tom Brady just went off and like went through right before we lost that Super Bowl, but it's still, that kind of sucked. But Tom Brady going through all that, and then I think that's when I started really liking the Patriots, right when that happened. I didn't really care if we lost that Super Bowl, but well, I do care, but
I know what you mean.
It was about how he drove his team to that point, because that was just Brady. So yeah, there's a lot of moments I would say, but that was my favorite one.
Now, do you mind if I read the comment you sent in Signal to the Legion group?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, Tyree sent this earlier today, and I just wanted to read it because it was so well said. And here we go. So this is from Tyree early this morning, and he said, "As a fan of football, I never thought the day would come that Tom Brady would retire. I knew that you would, but I never thought it would come so quick. I started out as a Patriots fan. I grew up a Patriots fan off an interview with Tom Brady that was that was on a different team. I never thought he'd be, and I never thought he'd be a Patriot, but even living through that as a fan, I've seen great victories and great losses like 07 and 11. And we've seen some great wins like the comeback against the Falcons in 2018. And a great upset against the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, and even the rivalries we've seen against between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. We've been blessed to see those. And on top of that, when you know the Ravens defense that they've had to put up with, the Legion of Boom, the greatest show on turf, even the Eagles. That's probably my most hated one. I agree with you, Tyree. That's my most hated one. It just makes me angry. But he gets with the Buccaneers, the most losing franchise in the NFL. And yeah, I'm going to miss him. And it does feel like somebody died. But you know what? He's the whole reason why I got into football. Tom Brady reminded me of an anime character as they go and they keep going and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, no one expected much of them, but he ended up being something great. And, you know, it's great to have lived and to see him play as the greatest. In terms of sports, you never, ever, you just never know. And I'm going to miss seeing him. But now it's time to open up a new chapter in the New England Patriots log and try to see who will get and go from there in terms of the Patriots. So, absolutely, man. Very well said. It's almost like it's like a closing of a book, and then.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's again the Eagles, like you mentioned, the Eagles loss, Super Bowl 52. That one pisses me off the most because it shouldn't have happened. It should have been an easy victory, and Belichick and his defense let us down that day. Again, I'm not as bitter as I used to be for that. I was bitter for that whole year, but the performance in Super Bowl 53 kind of made up for that. I don't know how you feel, but it was because then Tom needed the help. So in Super Bowl 52, Super Bowl 52, Tom was the one making everything happen, and but in 53, he needed the defense to come through for him. And because he was going up against Wade Phillips, who's always been a pain in Tom's ass. So I think that kind of made me less bitter, but still, I just, that one bothers me. The Giants hurt, but the Eagles pisses me off. So
I think it's because the Eagles fans are more obnoxious about it. Because they kind of go around saying, Tom Brady lost to a backup, and even though I think that's the more obnoxious, and Eagles fans tend to be a little bit crazy to begin with, anyway. But they always tend to forget that we beat them back in 04. And they always say, "Oh, well, we beat the Patriots." It's like, but didn't Tom Brady beat the better quarterback and technically Donovan McNabb? Because in terms of my opinion, Donovan McNabb was better than Nick Foles in terms of career. So I don't know. And they had T.O. So
yes, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's a little different. And granted, though, the Patriots defense in 04 was really great, but that's besides the point.
Even with that, though, it's go watch Super Bowl 38. Tom had to engage in a shootout just to save that game. And it's all about how you perform in the playoffs in any position. But so much is always said about Tom Brady having top defenses, blah, blah, blah. Well, what good is a highly ranked defense if they're getting scored on in the most important games in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl?
It doesn't make any sense. That's why when I would say, like, in terms of this is probably has nothing to do with Tom Brady, but I would say, like, in terms of right now with the Eagles and like what they're doing, like, obviously you probably can tell I want the Eagles to win a Super Bowl as much as I probably don't really regret that. I really don't want them to. I'd rather see Jalen Hurts host a Lombardi than Patrick Mahomes. Because then all the NFL pundits will say, "Oh, he's better than Peyton Manning now," even though they don't even say that. They'll say, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's better than Peyton Manning. He's better than Tom Brady now because he has another ring." And it's like, no, he's not. I love Patrick Mahomes, but he's not. I'll tell you right now, he's better than Eli Manning, but not better than Peyton Manning. I'll tell you that much. Not in terms of career. But yeah, no. When I
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's
Sorry.
really hard for me. It's really hard for me to accept it. But like, it's not as bad because last year when he came back, I didn't expect it. And like me and my wife, we were talking. She was like, "So who are you gonna root for now that Tom Brady is gone?" I was like, "I'm still a Patriots fan, but in terms of a player, I don't know." I said, "I can't think of another player in the NFL." I was like, "There's no other player like Tom Brady. There just isn't."
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, maybe Joe Burrow. I said, but that's just his poise and how he
Right.
is as a person. That isn't like him as a player. There's a difference. He
Yeah.
doesn't, it doesn't have what Tom Brady has. It's different. Tom Brady was just a different animal.
Very unique in everything that he does. It's so strange. What he's accomplished is bizarre, but isn't it sad though? And this really bothers me. It's sad that we can't sit back and enjoy watching Patrick play.
Yeah.
And it's just, and you know why? It's because of the people on TV, the fans of that, the haters of Tom Brady and stuff, and we can't just sit back and root for Patrick openly because of that. That's really sad. It really sucks, And so I'm torn. I don't know where I'm at right now as far as the Super Bowl 57 coming up. I don't know how I feel about it yet, and I figure I will come to a decision on who I go for and who I root for, because I always find rooting interest because it makes the game more interesting. So I have to find somebody I'm pulling for, and I honestly don't know who that is yet. So
It's very difficult because then you got the Eagles, and it's like, if the Eagles win another Super Bowl, the fans are going to be obnoxious. And it's like, if the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, it's like then the pundits will say, "Oh, the Patrick Mahomes and blah, blah, blah." So it's like you kind of have to pick the lesser of the two evils. It's like, which one do you want less or more of?
Well,
it's kind of hard to decide.
Jalen Hurts winning and the Eagles winning will just be a one-off, like when the Eagles won in 2017 or when the Rams won last year. It's just a one-off victory. It's not like they're going to be back next year or something. No one's going to talk about Jalen Hurts being the next greatest quarterback of all time, and it kind of just goes away and no harm done, right? Unless you live in the city of Philadelphia. So, but with the problem with Patrick is that he's MVP this year. If he wins the Super Bowl, he's broken that curse. Since Kurt Warner, no one has been able to win MVP and win a Super Bowl in the same year. So we're never going to hear the end of it. Okay. And that's my problem. And perhaps I'd say this, if Patrick was an MVP this year, I'd probably be much more likely to go for him. But that right there alone, just to not have to put up with it, to not have to deal with that bullshit. And again, I've not made up my mind. I'm just saying that is a factor for me. It's a big factor. As far as the Eagles, I just hate their fan base. I can't stand their fan base at all.
Yeah.
But there's no players currently on the Eagles that I have a real problem with. I have to be honest. Like there's nobody that bothers me. But the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, I never wanted to punch a motherfucker in the face that I've never met. I cannot stand that guy. I cannot.
You know what's
stand
you know
him.
what's funny? His brother is a lot better than him.
Oh yeah,
At least Jason
yeah.
Kelsey is more, you know, I don't know. Jason Kelsey seems a lot more of a cool guy than Travis. I think Travis is just that brother that drunk too much in the like college party, and he was that obnoxious, jock guy going, "Arr!" while Jason's just
Yes.
like, calm down, Travis.
Yeah,
That's how he
he's
seems.
just he's a punk ass. He always was. I remember when Alex Smith was the quarterback, Travis used to throw fits on the field all of the time, and he even at some point he picked up a ref's flag and like threw it back at them. I mean, he's just a fit thrower, and he's a punk ass. He's a little bitch, and I just can't stand him, and that makes it difficult. And Chiefs fans are, my God, Chiefs fans are the ones on Twitter anyway. The ones on Twitter are awful. They're just unbearable. They're stupid. They don't seem to understand the how the NFL works. They don't seem to grasp it. Like the whole Travis Kelce and Gronk thing. It's like, shut up. There's no comparison. If Kelce wants to be greater than Gronk, he should try breaking the top 5, as far as I'm concerned. There are at least five tight ends that I would take over Travis Kelce all time. And do you know why that is? Because I know for a fact that Travis Kelce's entire career right now is because of Andy Reid. I have never seen a guy schemed
100%.
open more without having to do anything. Okay? And at the same time, he's treated like a wide receiver by the refs. That's unfair because Gronk, they would maim Gronk. They even let them maim Kittle quite a bit. And they have to put up with a lot more than Kelce does. It's just, this whole thing is ridiculous. But
yeah, Gronk was crazy when I saw him play. He would never. I remember one play. I think it's iconic actually with Gronk when he was against the Reds. Well, oops, sorry, can't say Redskins no more. But who cares? He was
DC lizard people.
He sat. Yeah, those people. Call him the Chris Sims of the Chris Sim DC lizard people.
There you go.
He drove through like 4 DC players in like one play. I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my God, he didn't even get down.
Yeah.
I was like, my God. Like in terms of a tight end, I will never see Travis Kelce do something like that. He'll never do something like that. He's not that tough. And dragging guys, I mean, come on. Gronk would drag 3 guys in one play. Like, he just would never do something like that. Drag him 20, 15 yards. Travis Kelce would be like, a couple yards. Oh, I got to have a wide open space. And, yeah, it's all scheme because, I see him wide open, and I'm just like – and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how are they letting this guy wide open knowing that Patrick's going to throw to him every single time? Because they know that's his best weapon on that field. So, I don't know. They leave him wide open all the time.
A lot of it is they give him a lot of underneath stuff, and they let him. They're willing to give up that 5 to 8 yards in order to avoid the big play. They're afraid of the Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek style play where he just chunks it 75 yards. Not throws it 75 yards, but throws it like 55 yards, and then Tyreek or someone like Tyreek, and I'm referring to the pass as well, but and then takes it to the house. And they were so known for that I think that they're a lot of defenses are giving Kelce that room, and a lot of times it just doesn't work for them. And some of it just blows my mind. Doesn't make any sense, but I could get open in Andy Reid's offense. Okay. I'm not kidding. So, Mike Miller, thank you. Mike Miller, exactly. I've said this before. Absolutely right. Mike Miller said, Travis is a product of scheme and quarterback, just like Jimmy Graham. That is absolutely a perfect comparison to. He is Jimmy Graham 2.0. That's it. That's it. The moment Jimmy Graham was off the Saints, what happened? Completely.
He ended up being nothing.
Nothing. Exactly. That was Sean Payton scheming him open, and that was Drew Brees throwing him the ball. You put Kelsey somewhere else right now, and it's not going to happen. But a guy like Gronk, a guy like Kittle, a guy like Shannon Sharp, you could put them anywhere, and it makes no difference. They are who they are. You know, they just know how to play the position, and that's Travis Kelce. I am not impressed by him at all. Like I just don't. I know for a fact there's half of the starting tight ends in the league right now would be putting up his numbers.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest, man. It's
even Hunter Henry.
It's the truth.
And Jonnu Smith.
It's the truth. It is. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Trav, I'm gonna Tyree. I'm gonna let you go and see if anybody else wants to get on here.
No problem. It was nice being on. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for calling. And again, I really appreciate you being a member and everything that you've done for the channel. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, no problem.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you.
Yeah, I was reading a text message from my friend Travis at the same exact moment that I was talking to Tyree. That's funny. Okay, so I've got the lines open. If anybody else would like to call. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Here a second. Yeah, I've got it. So, Elf of Courage sends a $10 super chat. He says, Brady Super Bowl opponents: Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame; Jake Delhomme, Donovan McNabb, Eli Manning, Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes. The measure of a quarterback is in the quality of his opponent. That's true in a lot of things. It's, you know, for one, tennis. Tennis is a very, well, it's all about, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about opponent. It's about quality of opponent. So, also, Tyler Belcher sent a $5 super chat. Thank you, Tyler. I really appreciate it, man. There's no comment attached, so if you have a comment you want to, or something you want to mention, just put at VonAllen Sports, so I'll see it. Thank you so much. Someone just tried to call in named I, or letter I, but then they hung up. So if you were trying to call back, go ahead. Dad, you can't put at VAS. That won't light up orange. It's got to be at VonAllen Sports. One word. You can't space it or anything. At least I don't think you can. But my dad asked, can anyone explain with reasonable logic why would Tom have anything to do with deflating footballs? So basically, here's the deal. This is a simplified version of Deflategate. Every quarterback instructs his training staff and the not the trainers, the equipment staff, to put the footballs at the level that they're comfortable. So, for example, Aaron Rodgers likes his ball overinflated past the legal limit, because what happens is that on game day, the refs come in and they measure the footballs and they put them at a certain PSI. Okay. Some refs let more air out than others for whatever reason. Don't know why. That's just how it is. Okay. So quarterbacks anticipate this. They anticipate what the refs are going to do, and the quarterbacks try to. Their goal is to get the most favorable conditions they can. And so Æron, for example, Æron has his guys overinflate the football. So even when they take some air out, it may land in an area that Aaron's comfortable with. Okay. Now, Tom is different. Tom likes it on the lower end. So he tells his guys to make it as low on the low end as he can. And then when the refs approve it, it goes through. Okay. And this is standard operating procedure for every quarterback. It always has been. The problem is that during the AFC Championship game against the Colts, the weather conditions caused the ball to fall under the PSI level just by a little bit. Now, someone had gotten or had heard that this was a thing that Tom's preferences. They created this entire bullshit scheme to accuse the Patriots of cheating, okay, to basically end their run. After Tom and the Patriots beat the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round, just one moment. Okay, Israel, just 1 second. After the Patriots beat the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round, they did a play where they would call one guy ineligible. It was like a trick play, basically. The head coach of the Ravens, John Harbaugh, was pissed off about it and complaining that it was against the rules. It wasn't. It was completely within the rules. And Tom Brady was asked about it, and Tom Brady smarted off kind of and said, well, maybe John needs to learn the rule book better. So, and most people think, and the rumor is, and it makes the most sense, is that Harbaugh and the Colts basically colluded to create this whole Deflategate bullshit, this whole story. That's nothing, okay? In the AFC Championship game against the Colts, the ball that was in question was when DeQuell Jackson on the Colts intercepted Brady. When he intercepted Brady, he took the ball to the sidelines, and the official story from the Colts was DeQuell Jackson took it to the sidelines and complained about it being underinflated. Okay, well, that didn't happen. And that's where their whole story falls apart. What really happened is that DeQuell Jackson took the ball to the sidelines and gave it to the equipment kid to keep, because he wanted to keep it as a souvenir because he had just intercepted the great Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game. That's all it was. After the game, ESPN was reporting that whole bullshit, the whole lie that DeQuell Jackson figured out that the ball was underinflated and that's what started the whole thing. Well, that doesn't work, because after the game, when they were going to the bus, a reporter interviewed DeQuell Jackson and said, "Hey, DeQuell, what's going on with the ball?" And DeQuell had no idea what they were talking about. He said, "What? You got my ball, right?" He was thinking that they kept it because he wanted it autographed or whatever, right? He didn't know that they were talking about a deflated football, so he had no idea about what was going on, and that right there blows up their entire story, as far as I'm concerned. Years later, DeQuell Jackson went on Pat McAfee and told the story all over again and said, "Dude, that didn't happen. There was no me being suspicious of a ball being deflated." He goes, "All I want to know is if Tom Brady can make a call to the NFL, get my ball back so I can get it autographed." The whole thing was fake. The whole thing was created out of nothing. It was a complete bullshit thing that basically, in my opinion, the owners colluded to stop the Patriots because they feel like they weren't punished enough in 2007. There's a lot more details in this, but I'm trying to give you the simplified version. But basically, it was all, the reason it seems so absurd to you and preposterous is because it was all bullshit. It was completely manufactured, and that got proven in court. There you go. Okay, let's see here. We have Israel waiting in the green room. Israel, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I don't know. I'm pretty sad that he
Yeah,
retired, but
I know.
at the
Yeah,
same time, I'm happy that I got to watch most of his greatest moments.
yeah.
But uh, I think my favorite one was probably Super Bowl 49.
Ah, that's mine. Yeah.
So I was at my uncle's house watching that, right? And you get to the part where Jermaine Kearse makes that stupid catch,
Yes.
and then they hand it off to Marshawn Lynch, and he gets like what 4 or 5 yards. At that point, I had already like accepted defeat.
Yes.
And then when you see Malcolm Butler make that interception, dude, I completely lost it. Like I was going completely wild and everybody was just staring at me. It was kind of embarrassing.
Was there a lot of people around?
It was like 10 or 15 people, but I was the only person in that house going for the Patriots. So it was
Oh,
kind of awkward, but I didn't care. Dude, I was losing my mind. It was crazy.
yeah. I same here. I don't know if you heard me talking about it earlier, but yeah, I went to Psycho Land for a little bit. Milena had to get me back on track, you know. So I never thought I could feel that way about a sporting event, but it happened, and that's just how it is, you know. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. So
that's how it was for me too. Uh, my dad told me, okay, just calm down. All right, you won. Good, congratulations. He was pretty mad though because he didn't become a Tom Brady fan until like he went to Tampa Bay. He was like,
oh
you know what? This whole time I didn't hate Tom Brady. I just hated Bill Belichick. I hated the Patriots. But for
wow,
me, I think that was probably the greatest Tom Brady moment ever. Although it's really close because Super Bowl 51, I was just more cautious. And then when the game finished, yeah, I was celebrating, but I was more like in awe. Like I was really silent. Like I
right.
couldn't believe what I had just seen. Is that how it was for you?
That's exactly yeah. It was a process, that comeback. So like there was like micro
Right.
stages of emotion as it was happening, and there was always that doubt that yeah, but there's still not enough time. Yeah, but you know, for most of the comeback, I was just thinking, let's make this respectable. Let's just not look like complete idiots, right? So it was a process thing.
Right.
For Super Bowl 49 was complete defeat and flip. Like you cannot have
Yep.
a flip like that more crazy than that. That's why that Malcolm Butler interception is the greatest play in Super Bowl history and the greatest play in NFL history, because no play ever has had that single impact on winning and losing a Super Bowl. There's never been a play that had that
Yep.
singular moment. In that moment, the second one, as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned,
people
is the tackle between the Rams and the Titans. But yeah, go ahead.
most people say that uh, David Tyree's catch was probably the greatest play in Super Bowl history, and I don't blame them for thinking that, but I think that Malcolm Butler play was the greatest play in NFL history because the way the tables turned in that moment right there is like unlike anything I have ever seen in my life.
I know.
It's complete hopelessness and defeat, and in just a split second, it just changed. I had never seen anything like that before in my life.
It was freaking unreal, man. And the reason I just want to say the reason why the David Tyree catch cannot be the greatest play is because that was, first of all, that was a 3rd and long, and they still had a 4th down.
Yep.
And it still took the Plaxico Burress touchdown to give them that. And then the Patriots still had the ball and still had a chance to drive. So the Giants defense still had to make those stops, and they lit Tom Brady up badly. All those things had to transpire after Tyree made that catch. So who's to say the 4th down wouldn't have been a catch by somebody else, So for me, it's got to be that, does that one play change everything? And that's what happened. So there you are.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, you went off for some reason.
My bad.
But anyway, so that Malcolm Butler play, that literally went from defeat to victory in one play. And that's why I don't rank it as the top. Even the tackle for the Titans Rams at the end there, that is similar to the Malcolm Butler play, where that one play changed the course and won the Rams the Super Bowl. So it's the power of one play. What does that one play do for you? Or how many things happen after that? That's why I get tired of hearing about the tuck rule. The Raiders still had a chance to stop them in regulation and in overtime. So the tuck rule itself wasn't like a game-ending fumble or whatever. It didn't end the game at all. There was more game to be played. So it's ridiculous, to think that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous how people still hang on to that tuck rule game. Like, just people need to let that go. It's really annoying.
It's very strange, actually. And you know what? Talk to any Raiders fan. I would say about 60 to 70% of them think that game was the AFC Championship game.
Yep. They probably wouldn't know any better.
It's crazy. They all assume that had they won that game, they were going to go to the Super Bowl. The Raiders would have gotten destroyed by the Steelers. That Raiders team was not ready for the Steelers to go into Pittsburgh and beat them that year. That they were not ready for that. So, but I don't think they think about that. I don't think they were ready.
Yeah. People need to let that crap go. They think 20 years of dominance is just luck based on that one play. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it's
another game that I was losing my mind in, but I was more like nervous than anything, was the 2018 AFC Championship. That game, I was losing my mind the whole game. In the second half.
The Chiefs game.
Yes, that to me this might sound crazy, but that championship to me is greater than some of his Super Bowl wins.
It doesn't sound crazy at all. That game, I had a better feeling after that game than I did the Super Bowl itself 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it was a more satisfying win.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Milena, she made us watch that game every night for 6 days straight. Every single night we had to rewatch that game.
Damn.
It was so weird. Like, that game, changed something for her. It was just like... That game was oh my God, it was stressful.
Was that to prepare yourself for the Super Bowl?
Yeah. And she just wanted to relive it over and over and over again, the feeling of that game, because the way it went. There were so many times where we were supposed to lose, or there were so many times where we were supposed to win. It was so bizarre. It was a very strange game.
It was a great game. Like like in the first half, they dominated them. It was 14-0 at the end, I believe, and there wasn't really that much going on. Then in the second half, it just turned into an absolute shootout. But I was so nervous in that game, and when Tom went into overtime and he converted those 3 3rd-and-10s, I was cheering like a maniac. I was losing it.
Dude. Those are money downs right there, and that separates everybody. And that right there is why I gave Patrick props the other night. Because he was hitting some of those. He was hitting those, and that touchdown throw he had was freaking phenomenal. He was throwing from the pocket, and he was doing what he had to do. It wasn't pretty, okay? As an overall game, it wasn't the best pocket passing I've ever seen, but he got the job done. And those money downs, that's when you got to have it like that. That separates it, the greatest from everyone else, in my opinion. So,
yeah, Patrick, as he was really, really good last week. I mean, that throw, I'm not kidding. Like, I was like, wow, okay, I see you. Yeah. That throw was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that was a Brady throw right there. I looked into the camera and I said, all right, Patrick, I see you. I see I see what you're doing there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to give him his props on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it was 3rd-and-10. I didn't think they were going to score. I thought they were probably going to get like 6-7 yards, but no, the way he found Valdez Scantling on that was insane. Like, it was a hell of a throw. Really good throw. But yeah, just one more thing on that AFC Championship with Tom. Like, you can tell that game meant so much to him. Did you see the way that he celebrated when Rex Burkhead ran into the end zone? Did you see that?
He took off his helmet and jumped up. Like, it reminded me of Brett Favre, like that kind of crazy celebration. Absolutely. He wanted that so bad. He wanted it so bad. And everyone was saying that they can't win a road AFC Championship game. And they hadn't in a long time, since the Chargers, I think. So, yeah, that people were just talking junk that whole time. And he wanted that really bad. And it was against a very good team, And Patrick had thrown 50 touchdowns. He was MVP and all that. So that victory is up there with some Super Bowls. I agree with you. And that one, I'm completely on your side about that. That one felt even bigger than the 2 weeks later winning that Super Bowl. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, it was you could tell because the week before, remember after they beat the Chargers, he said, it's going to be fun because people think we can't win any big games. He heard all that stuff, and he was really motivated. So when I saw that interview, I was like, yeah, I think they're probably going to win this game. I think they got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember not knowing what to expect. I just wasn't sure. I didn't know either way. There was times where I felt good about it, and then there was times I was like, oh, I don't know. And and what was on my mind, to be quite honest with you, was still Super Bowl 52. The way Belichick's defense completely choked, just completely flamed out. And I was thinking, is this going to happen again? Because, if they folded against Nick Foles and the Eagles, what are they going to do in Kansas City against the 50 touchdown throwing Patrick Mahomes? It was like,
yeah,
I was worried about that. I was extremely concerned, and luckily it worked out. But
that was really stressful.
Insane, dude.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't even have any Tom Brady merchandise, but I'm definitely going to buy a jersey now. A Patriots one, not a Tampa Bay one.
Yeah. Nice.
Because
you mentioned your dad. Is he a Cowboys fan too, like you?
Yep. He is.
What do you think's going to happen with Dak?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I read today that they're gonna keep him. But to be honest, I like him. I don't love him. I don't think he's the guy that's gonna. I don't think he's the guy that can win it all for us.
Dude, he doesn't have the gene. He doesn't. I'm with you. I like him too, but after what I saw, it's not there. It's not in him. 2 years in a row now. 2 years in a row that they made mental errors, and the moment was too big for them. And on this season, it was very obvious. He was the reason they lost. So if they had a quarterback with a better, more poise and confidence in what he was doing, they win. They win. That's
we didn't need him. We didn't need him to be perfect against San Francisco. We just needed him to be efficient and not make any mistakes. That's all we needed him to do, and he did the exact opposite. He couldn't even do that. We could have beat them, but
yeah, and it would have been a much better game against the Eagles, because the 49ers didn't even get to really compete because they lost their quarterback, and it was over at that point. So,
yeah.
But Dallas's roster is phenomenal, and it was just pissed away. And God knows how long that's going to last. It's very hard to keep these teams together. So
I don't know if you saw today, but they got rid of Kellen Moore. He went to the Chargers. So Mike McCarthy's going to be calling plays now, but I don't know if that's going to help Dak, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it'd be kind of funny if Mike McCarthy somehow went after Æron, and traded Dak somewhere, and then brought Aaron Rodgers in, and they reunited in Dallas, and then won a Super Bowl. I thought that would be crazy. Would you be happy about that if something like crazy like that happened?
I would. I'd take Aaron Rodgers in a heartbeat over Dak Prescott. I'll tell you that, in a heartbeat. He can still play. I know he still has what it takes based off of what I've seen this year. He hasn't fallen off. This was just a down year.
Oh, I agree. The only problem, again, with the Dallas thing and Dak is that he would have to, first of all, Dak has to agree to be traded. He's got a no trade clause. Then someone would have to want to take on his contract, which is not that big of a deal. He's the starting quarterback in this league. That's obvious. He can still be your guy for certain teams, but he's not the guy to win it all, obviously. But he's a guy to have until you find that guy, actually, the next guy. But yeah, that would be the only hurdle in getting rid of Dak is that he's got a no trade clause, which I don't know why in the hell owners agree to those things. I just don't get it. I don't know how you let a quarterback put in a no trade clause. That is crazy. It's like, if you want this money guaranteed, you got to give me the ability to trade you if you're, it's not working, and so right. I don't know how these teams agree to it. Jerry Jones I don't know what to think about him, honestly. It just seems like he gets obsessed with certain players, and then he's like a little kid, and then he can't be reasoned with.
He's too sentimental about some players.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go because I got some stuff to do. But I'm gonna keep watching. All right.
Okay, man. Thanks for calling in. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Talk to you soon, man.
So I just want to let you guys know that there's still a regular VAS Live show this Saturday as normal, and we'll that will be more, of course, centered around the Super Bowl and the off season and what we're going to be doing with that. And we talk about different things. And we'll also probably have some more information about Tom Brady and his retirement. And more things will be leaked out, like what teams he was talking to and what went on and what went into his decision making and stuff like that. And people will start talking and things like that. So I'm sure we'll have even more to talk about on Saturday. Also, we, me and Roman here, we have a documentary coming very soon. It's in the form of Montana versus Brady, but for UFC. So it is John Jones versus Anderson Silva versus George St. Pierre, and so on and so on. And it basically we did a formula to come up with who is the actual greatest of all time in UFC history in mixed martial arts. And we not only do we come up with a formula to kind of show this, but we also, talked about it. We're going to show some documentary clips for the fighters, and then there's a hilarious skit in there that I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. It's a surprise, but it's funny as hell. And this is all a perfect introduction for his heavyweight debut, which he will be fighting in March. So that will be perfect timing with the John Jones, the whole John Jones thing going on. So keep an eye on that. And of course, I'll be mentioning it more and more in detail on Saturday. And of course, we'll have the shows next weekend for the Super Bowl. And we're going to stream the Super Bowl live like I did the AFC Championship game. So we'll all be together for that one. And it still should be fun, okay? I mean, I know it's not the Super Bowl that we all wanted and what we were looking for, but we're still football fans at the end of the day, okay? And we still want to see a good game. And I just don't want a blowout. So I just will hope for a good game. It's the Super Bowl, and it still matters. So I think we'll have fun. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. So thank you so much. And again, if you didn't get a chance to call, or if you are watching this on the playback, I will open the lines up at the end of the show on Saturday as well. Okay, so if you want to talk about Tom Brady and do exactly what we're doing here tonight. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I'm going to read this last one here. Michael Brown sends a $6.66 super chat. 666. Really, Mike? Really? Are you into gematria? Okay. He says, Tom's physical abilities may not be supreme, but he got the job done better than any quarterback ever. Smart leadership, that makes him the GOAT. Well said, Mike. Well said, my friend. And you know what? That's the perfect super chat to end this on. And again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on Saturday. Okay? Talk to you soon, guys.
Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports.